Hello and welcome to today's speed build. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us, and if not, then welcome back. So today I am building in the world of Mount Komorebi, and I don't think I've ever built here before, but I really wanted to stay on the whole houses, like 2 to 3 houses on one lot trend, and I did recently do 2 houses on one lot, so I thought it would be cool to do 3. And because I'm building in the world of Mount Komorebi, I decided to do some very Japanese style homes. Now I have never actually been to Japan. I would love to go to Japan. It is definitely there on list of places I want to go and I want to visit, but I've never been. So all of this knowledge is based off of things that I researched or things that I've sort of seen before online, but not necessarily in person because I've never been. But I tried to build them how I thought was appropriate and how I thought made sense, and yeah, there's some cool things I actually found out from building, because there's a lot of stuff we got with Snowy Escape, a lot of sort of what are they called, decoration pieces, and I was having a look at them and I had a look to see what they actually are and stuff, and I learned quite a lot. So I'll talk about that a little bit more once I get onto the interior, but we are starting off with the exterior, and we're starting off with the first house, which is this one here. Now I decided to go for this kind of light brown color scheme. I've not really leaned into it too much yet, but I do end up making it this kind of light brown, and I went for a different aesthetic for all 3 houses. So the first one is kind of light brown and white, and then the second one is very dark wood, so it's dark brown, and on the inside I followed these through to all the interiors, so the inside of that one is very dark as well. And then the third one is a lot lighter. It's a lighter beigey wood, and yeah, it's a lot lighter on the inside as well. Now this house that I'm doing right now is actually the biggest one, because I decided to make all 3 of these houses for 3 different types of families. So this family right here is a sort of traditional, big traditional family. They have, I think there's 6 Sims living in this house, so it's quite a big house. It has to be big for the amount of people in it. I think there's 3 bedrooms, because I did the parents' bedroom where I also put a crib for a baby, and then I did a teenager's bedroom, and then I also did a kid's bedroom which has room for 2 kids. So yeah, it's for 6 Sims, and I thought that was really nice. And then for the second house I decided to do more of a business person kind of thing. So I was thinking that home was for someone that's very into business, and their house is just for one person. And then for the third house I decided to make it for a grandparent and their grandson, and I thought that was so sweet. So yeah, they all have very different aesthetics. I do want to point out I furnish all of these on camera, so you will be able to see that in this video. I actually had such a struggle getting this video to be a good amount of time, because I think it was an hour 20, and I had to shave off so much of it. But I just tried to cut things out that were not too important, so hopefully 45 minutes isn't too long. But I do furnish the inside of all of them, and they have 3 floors each, so yeah, they're pretty big units. And the most recent expansion that we got was the For Rent expansion, and that one has a world with it called Tomarang, which is a beautiful world, and is based off of Southeast Asia. So those items did come in handy, but of course Japan is East Asia, so I didn't use the items too much. I was trying to stick to the ones that came with Snowy Escape, because I felt they were a little bit more suitable, just because they had a lot of the stuff that I was looking up, because I was looking up certain things just to make sure I was putting things in that made sense. And yeah, when I was looking it up, it had most of the stuff that was in that pack, whereas with the other one, the For Rent one, there was some stuff, but yeah, because it's of course based off of Southeast Asia, it was a little bit different. Now we're going to be moving on to the second home that I do, and for that one I went for a more like modern theme, or like my interpretation of what a Japanese modern home might look like. And the reason I did this is because it's for like a business person, so I was thinking that they maybe have a little bit more money than the other two homes, because of course they've got this full unit to themselves, whereas the other ones are sharing. So I think they have a little bit more money, so they have more of this like modern vibe going on, and I actually really like their home. I don't normally do modern builds. Speaking of which, I've actually been trying to do modern homes, or like modern builds. I've got one in the making, but I don't know if I'm gonna upload it or not, because we all know how I feel about modern. Like, it's very not my thing, and I'm sort of like, should I upload it? I don't know, because it's not finished yet. But I you know when you like something, but then you look at it for ages and then you don't like it anymore? I've kind of did that with it, so I'm very like stuck on if I am going to upload it or not. But anyway, yeah, so this is much more modern, but I really like it. I like how it turns out. It's very modern on the inside as well, because I wanted to keep all the themes following all the way through, and so I tried to like make it apparent on the outside the different themes. I also put in like a debug washing line to the first and last home. I haven't done it yet, but I add it in later, and I think it looks really nice. Whereas for this home here, I end up adding this like balcony at the top, and it's got what are they called, like plants and things on it with like a chair looking out. So yeah, it seems very cute, very peaceful. But I tried to add balconies on all of them. I did have a few like photos on Pinterest that I was sort of like referencing off of, but yeah, I don't know, it doesn't mean that they're accurate at all, because I'm sure that like some of them were AI. Of course, with AI, like they're not real, but I was just trying to use them as a sort of reference, or a sort of like inspiration with an idea of kind of what I wanted to do. So yeah, that's what I used them for. But again, it doesn't mean that they're 100% accurate. But yeah. So anyway, I added a barbecue to the start of this one, to the front of this one even. I did add like little back areas, by the way. I don't think I showed them in the video just to save time, but I pretty much added like sort of back patio areas. They're not really patios, but like stairs with like platforms and things, because I didn't want the back to look super flat. So I also tried to add like balconies to the back, which worked really nicely on the inside as well. Like, it translated really well from the inside to the outside. So yeah, I was happy with that. I really liked how it looked. I thought it was very sweet. Yeah, I also did a little umbrella to here. I tried to use the same like doors and windows and things all the way through, because they're on the same street. So the idea is it's like a street of the same houses, but they're not like the exact same color and style and things, but they're the same type of house. They don't actually have similar floor plans at all. The inside of the first one is like very clearly much bigger. Like, the other two are not. Like, I only have a proper dining room in the first one because of the amount of space I had, but yeah, for the other two I just have like little rooms designed for them. But yeah, now I did use these little dividers for all of the houses, because in Japan they have something that's called, I think it's a shoji screen. I don't know if that's how you'd pronounce it, or it's like shoji, but it's pretty much like a divider to give like privacy. Sometimes it's used to split up rooms. I used it on the outside, but I also used it a lot on the inside. I don't know if like that open door that I've used on the far left one, I'm not sure if that one is also technically a shoji screen, because it slides open, but it's not like a divider, it's more like a sliding door. So I don't know if it does count, but traditionally from the ones I looked up, they have that design, and I did use a screen on the upstairs of the last one with that design, whereas the other ones I used are like different shapes. As you can see on that like middle one, it's kind of like different looking. I don't know if that's still considered a shoji screen or if they have to have a certain like pattern. But yeah, I used them anyway. Some of them did come with the Snowy Escape pack, and some of them were from different packs that we got. A change of topic, I just wanted to say that I recently did a video, and it was like my first cast video. It was giving the Goth family a makeover, and that was such a fun like video to film because I don't use CC, like you'll know, for all of my builds and stuff. I do not use CC. I'm not against it or anything. I love build CC. I just do not use it because I know that a lot of people want to download the builds, and I know that it's bad enough when I use like every single packing kit known to man, that you know, it would probably be really annoying if I use CC. So I try and keep them, you know, CC free. But because of that, it just made like the cast video so exciting to me because I did use CC in that, and it was so fun. And yeah, you guys seem to really like it, so thank you for the support on that video. But the next family, I believe, is going to be the pancakes because I had done a poll over on my community tab. Community tab, is that what it's called? I think so. I did a poll over there and you guys had voted for the pancakes. I did choose some like random families, but I chose families that I really like. So the Delgatos was one of the options, and I love their like house aesthetic. So they have like a shoreline house. It's in the world of Brindleton Bay, and it's got like, you'll see if you look it up, that it's got like the really nice architecture with the, oh, I don't even know the style name, but it's got these really cool looking roofs that I want to recreate at some point. So yeah, I'm kind of rooting for them in the future. But we are going to be doing the pancakes, which I did expect. I feel like some people love the pancakes and some people hate them. I personally really like them. I think I talked about this before, but in the Not So Berry challenge, Eliza Pancakes was my Sims best friend, my Mint generation best friend, like best friend. So I have good relations with Eliza Pancakes, and I'm really excited to renovate them. But of course, I'm going to renovate their house first, which is in Willow Creek, and I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Like, I have an idea in my head of how I want to renovate it, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, I'm excited to start that. So that's gonna be up soon. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but with these free builds, I know it's a quick topic change, but it just reminded me, with these free builds, I was actually going to make them into separate videos. So I was gonna do like one unit and then like the second unit and then the third, but it just didn't work out because it wouldn't have made any sense, I feel like, because I'm doing like the exteriors of all of them and then the inside of all of them. I'm not doing like one exterior and then the inside and then the next and the next. So to make it less confusing, I thought I'd just put it all in one video. I know that I did say about the video being like quite long, but yeah, I'm not sure if I mentioned that. I was going to make them separate, but I decided against it. But I think it's nice sometimes to have a longer video and to be able to see the full process of building. Also, I feel like it's nice because you can decide if you want to do the inside of these houses yourself, or if you want to keep like two of them furnished and just decorate one, you can just like get rid of the interior of one of them if you wanted to. I didn't upload, I haven't actually uploaded them to the gallery yet. I'm going to upload this one and the Witch's Cottage today. So at the time of watching this, they should both be on the gallery, but please let me know if they're not, but they should be. I'm going to make sure that I put them up because I'm so bad at forgetting, and then people ask me, why is that not on the gallery? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I'm going to make sure they're up. But anyway, I'm only uploading the furnished version, but of course when you download it, you can download an unfurnished version. But of course, if you just want to download like two of them and then furnish one of them, then you can always just take the furniture out. I know it's a bit of a pain, but yeah, if you want me to upload it like that, like where two are furnished and one isn't or whatever, then I should be able to just do that for you. But yeah, now we are moving on to the interior finally, and we are starting off with the far left, which is the one with the big family in it. There's 6 Sims in this house, so it's a pretty big family. In fact, I'm pretty sure I read that in Japan, like, it's very, very, very not common to have a family this big. Apparently, I don't know, that's what it said. So yeah, but of course this is The Sims, and I was just kind of making it for the gameplay purposes, so that you could decide how big you wanted your household to be, like how big you wanted your family to be. There's also enough room in all of these houses that I think you could have a pet if you wanted to, like a cat or a dog or something like that. Me saying that as if that isn't the only animals you could have. I mean, you could have a horse, but I don't think there's any room for a horse. So yeah, a cat or dog, probably your best bet. But we are starting off with the dining room. Now, apparently these are very, very common for dining rooms. These like little tables with the seat. So I think these are called chabudai. I think that's what they're called. That might be wrong. But yeah, this is pretty much like what people in Japan use it to, you know, eat their food, eat their dinner. So this is the little dining room. This came with the Snow Escape pack, so it's really cool that we have that. I used this, I think, in every house because I wanted it to be accurate. Speaking of which, I know that in Japan, they have like certain bedding, but I don't think we have it in The Sims, or I didn't see it at least, but pretty much in Japan they have tatami mats, and I think those are like kind of like floor mattresses, floor beds. So I tried to use beds that were relatively closer to the ground, because that's kind of like the traditional Japanese beds. But yeah, I couldn't find like an item exactly like it, so I just kind of used what I have, so hopefully that's okay. But yeah, I know that traditionally they would use those mats. I think we did get a flooring that is supposed to be made of that, but we like with the Snow Escape pack, I'm sure that's something that we got. I think that they're made of like rice straw in like seagrass or something. I think it's something like that, and it's used for like their bedding. It's really, really cool. I did like read up on it and things, and it seems pretty cool. So I was pretty intrigued reading up on that, but I couldn't find anything like it, so I tried to just sort of use what was in the game. But yeah, I just thought I'd say in case you were wondering why I didn't use it. Now this area here is the kind of hallway, and I put signs at the front door area that pretty much just says no shoes. That's also a sign that came with, I think, the For Rent pack, but it also did come with the Snow Escape pack, so I used that, and then I put a bunch of shoes because I think that's very common in Japan that you'd not wear your shoes within the house. So I tried to put that at the start of all of the houses, but because some of them are a little bit smaller, they end up being a little bit further in some of them. But yeah, I made sure to add that. And then here's me cluttering up this bookshelf. I ended up using this bookshelf quite a little bit for all the homes. I think every home has one, but it's a really, really nice bookshelf. I never use it, and this was like the perfect build to use it on, so I ended up using it here, and I really like it. I think it works really nicely. Now the back room in this house is the kitchen. It ends up being quite a small kitchen, but I thought that was okay. It also has the back door, so it leads to the outside. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, but I did play test this build, so it worked very, very well. The Sims that I was using gravitated towards this build, this home, I suppose. I don't know why they did that. They just decided this is our home, but I did play test all of them just to make sure it was fully functional. And it seemed to be, but please let me know if there is any problems, of course. I know sometimes it can run a little bit differently for everyone in everyone's game, so yeah, just let me know if there is any problems and I'll make sure to fix them. But yeah, I had a really fun time making this build. Like, it was so fun, and it was actually really fun to like play with as well, because of course when I play tested it, I was like playing around with the Sims. Everything just works so nicely. Now, I did build on at sunset. You probably noticed when I was building, I kept it sunset. I just loved how it looked at sunset, but it does look really nice during the day as well. I don't know, I just really liked how it looked, so I ended up keeping it like that throughout the duration of the build. Hopefully that's not a problem, but here I am doing the little kitchen, and luckily with Snowyscape we got some of the perfect counters, perfect fridges, and this little oven, also that sink. Oh, and we got one of these. Now I think it's called like a hot pot, and I used this before when I was like actually, because I used to do gameplay like quite often on Twitch, and I remember using this for the first time and I thought it was so cool. Now, it is of course a real thing that they have in Japan. Now, I know I keep saying Japan, I don't know if these things are in other parts of Asia as well. They might as well be. They probably are in other places as well, but I just associating it. But yes, so I have used this before and it was actually really fun to cook with. I don't know how many people actually use it in The Sims, like if you use this a lot for your kitchens and stuff, but it's actually really cool. You can make these really cute dishes, and yeah, it's really fun. So I remember using that before, and it was just nice. It was like cooler than just cooking on a stove. Now, I did clutter up this kitchen as I always do, and oh, I wanted to talk about this so bad. So that little item that I just brought out is called a Dharma doll. I don't know if I'm saying it right, if it's like Dharma or like Daruma. I think it's Dharma. But pretty much this is something that is from Japan, and it is a symbol of like happiness and luck. I think like good fortune. They're used often in gifts for like generations of Japanese people I read up, and they're really cool. So they're really sweet. They're like this nice little symbol of happiness, and I used that in all of the builds. And I think the most common like color is the default color that it is in this, which is red, but there is of course like different swatches, so I did use those. But I know in at least one of the houses I just went for the like traditional red one, because I wasn't sure if you can get them in other colors or if that is just something that they put into the Sims to make it a bit more like interesting. But yeah, I did use a red one, and I thought they were really cool. Like, it was cool that that's what it was used for, because I had no idea. And then I was like, I want to know what this actually is. I sort of thought that it was going to be something like that, because just by the name of it, it made a lot of sense. Now we're gonna move on to the upstairs, and I ended up putting the living room in the upstairs, but I just didn't have any room downstairs for it, so I ended up using it or putting it upstairs. Now for the other two builds, I put it on the bottom floor, but the other two have their dining rooms on higher levels. So yeah, I know it's probably not a very common thing. I didn't actually check if it was. I don't think it is, but it ends up being on the second floor, just because I wanted there to be an area that your Sims can sit and watch TV and things like that. But yeah, there was no room downstairs, or I guess there would have been if I didn't have such a big dining room, but I really wanted to include that because I thought it made sense to, and also I wanted to use a lot of the items that I did. So yeah, I hope that's okay. But yeah, so we are doing this. Now there is also a bedroom on this floor, which is the parents' bedroom, and the parents' bedroom does have a crib, because I was imagining that this family has a baby and so with the baby it's of course in the mum and dad's room, because I didn't have room to have like baby's room, like a newborn baby's room. And also with newborn babies, I normally don't give them their own room anyway. I did read up, and apparently it is very common for like parents to sleep next to their baby in Japan as well. So I thought it was okay and it made sense. So that's what I went with. Now, I also had a look at just like Japanese sort of architecture for their houses as well, and it seems that they're very minimalist aesthetics, so there's not too much going on the outside, and I like to think that that's sort of what I went for compared to my usual builds. At least I like to think that that's what I did. And they have very neutral colors. Now I think on the inside at some points I did use a bit more color than probably would normally be in them, but yeah, I tried to stick to certain color schemes. I tried to keep them matching the outside. In fact, on the very last build that I do, it's very the same color. Because I went for a light color scheme, and the inside is very like white and cream all the way through. So yeah. Now they also have very low furniture, so that's something I try to stick with as well. Like they of course with like their dining table, I was saying they have these kind of like cushions on the ground, and with their beds are like hardly raised off the floor. So I tried to keep that all the way through as well, try and keep their furniture very low, because that is something that seems to be very common in Japan. But yeah, there's also things that I wanted to add, like to gardens and things, but because I didn't have room for any gardens, I of course didn't get to add any of those elements, which is a shame, but you know, it makes sense. It makes sense that I just didn't have the room. Now I'm on to the parents' bedroom. I'm just going to take this as a moment to say that I do have an Instagram if you ever want to go over and check it out. It is just iHanza YT, and I pretty much just post all of my builds and stuff on there. I also share a lot of other summers builds. A lot of people that I follow, they're just so creative, and I share a lot of their builds on there. But yeah, if you ever want to see any extra like content and things from me, I do have all of my builds and stuff over there. And yeah, it's just a nice little place. I normally also post if I have like a new video that's come out. I normally try and do that on YouTube as well, like on my community tab. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention it in case you were not aware, but that is something that I just wanted to let you know about, because I'm very active I'm very active on Instagram. I think out of like all of them, YouTube and Instagram is definitely where you'll find me. I don't really go on Twitter or X very often, and what is like the other social medias? Like Discord. I do have a Discord server, but I feel like I'm so bad at responding in it. So like you can join that, of course, if you would like. I'm just so bad at responding in there. But all of the links are in the description for anything like that if you want to ever know about my social medias. It's all in the description down below. But anyway, we have moved on to the child's bedroom. Now, as you can see, I didn't really go for this super like Japanese style room. I sort of just played around with what was here, and I don't know, I think I just wanted some color, so I started using some color. But I don't think a traditional kid's room would look like this, like in Japan. But I did try and use, so these beds are from Snowyscape, and I feel like they're closer to the ground than a lot of the other beds we have. Although when I was researching, apparently in some areas of Japan you have homes that have like bunk beds and things, so apparently that wouldn't have been like a super uncommon thing if I'd added that in as well. I did think about bunk beds, but at the time I just didn't think that it was what's the word, accurate. But yeah, apparently it wouldn't have been like super off or anything, so yeah, but now I know. Again, this was my first time ever building something in this style, so yeah, if I do get anything wrong or anything, I'm sorry, please don't hate me for it. I did try and look up most things that I was unsure of, so yeah, but I did take a lot of creative liberty. But here we're moving on to the teen's bedroom, and I was thinking the teen was a teenager teen boy, and then I was thinking the kids were probably two sisters. And yeah, his room is very, very sweet. It's actually very colourful. Again, I feel like for these rooms, I was just trying to put colour in as much as possible because I hadn't used it for the rest of the build. But yeah, hopefully that's okay. Now, I will say, because I didn't mention, I did do bathrooms and things. There's a bathroom on the 3rd floor. I know it's really annoying that it's on the 3rd floor. For the other apartments, I don't know why I keep saying that. I think it's because it's like 3 houses on one lot. For the other houses, the middle one, there's a bathroom on the bottom floor, and then for the 3rd one, there's a bathroom on the bottom floor and the top floor, I think. I don't know, there might not be, but I know that they're much more accessible. But yeah, I don't show me recording them. You can see the little bathroom here, but I don't show me recording them just because I didn't want to make the speed build like too big, too long. So yeah, but they are there, don't worry. I did like decorate them and have them match everything, so I think it works pretty nicely. But we're gonna be moving on to the 2nd one now, and this one, as I was saying before, so this is a much more modern vibe that we're going for, and it's for a single sim, so you will notice throughout it that it's got like a different vibe to it. But yeah, I went for these like darker colours, and again I done the thing with the shoes and the sign, but I didn't have as much room, so I ended up like reorganising where it was. Also, I'm pretty sure I like do the living room and then I go back and change bits of it because I didn't like it. You'll notice in the screenshots that there's like extra things added to certain rooms because I moved things around or I didn't like things, or yeah, but I didn't change too much. I just was being like very panicky with it, but yeah. But anyway, so I really, really like this one. I actually don't think I have a favourite. If I were to pick a favourite, I think it would maybe be the first one. But you'll have to let me know like what aesthetic you like the most out of these 3, because I'm actually not too sure. I really, really like all of them, so I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure at all. But yeah. Now what was I gonna say? I have some exciting videos coming. I feel like I have a few in the making. I actually, when I was editing this video, I realized, because I go for like the whole video, I watch the whole video. Like, there's no audio or anything. It's just like the raw footage, and I go for it all and like cut out anything that's not too important. And when I was doing that, I realized that I accidentally pasted in a segment from another video that I'm working on, and it just cut to this like obviously random build that I was like, huh? I was so confused because it was nothing to do with this build. And then I got really worried that I had like done that for like the whole thing, or yeah, I just like hadn't, or like I'd put it over some clips, and I was so worried, but no, I just accidentally like pasted in this random video. Yeah, so that was fun. I always feel like everything seems to be so difficult at time of recording, because I feel like I always record when like everything is very loud and busy and things. And yeah, I'm at my boyfriend's house right now, but even in my house it's the same. It's just like, you know, I usually in my house have the problem of my cats. My youngest cat in particular, he is an orange cat, which means he is just crazy, and he likes to just meow while I'm recording, and it's super fun. So yeah, I always feel like sometimes my voiceovers are a little bit like rambly, or like maybe they don't make sense, or there's too many cuts in them, and I'm really sorry. I want to apologize in advance if there is any like audio problems in this whole thing. But yeah, that is why I pretty much try and cut things out if it's too noisy. But yeah, I realized I didn't change the lighting to the upstairs of this build, and I ended up changing it. By the way, these lights, if you did wonder, are the ones from the Snowy Escape pack, and they are so perfect. They have like the perfect lighting. They are kind of dim sometimes, like they can be a little bit dull. So I sometimes, well, for some of these builds I put lights above them just to make it seem a little bit brighter. But yeah, they're not they're not like the brightest of lights, but I think they worked really nicely. I also was trying to incorporate pink throughout these because there is this one item we got of Snowy Escape, and it's like a cherry blossom tree, which I know is very, very common in Japan, and so I was trying to incorporate a lot of like pinks and stuff to kind of fall into that and make it look nice. Now this is the dining room for this house, and I feel like the I don't know, like what's the word, the size of it is pretty odd because it's very, very small. And I also put like a little sink up here. Now I don't think this is very, very accurate, but I wanted to add this little hot pot up here, and I thought I should add some stuff to the dining room because it's not a very big room, so I may as well add a few things. And I added another one of those little Durama dolls, and yeah, so that is like their little thing there for good luck and fortune and things. So I did add this to all of the houses. I made sure to. I also put in a piano, and when I was looking up, like, so I wanted to know how common it actually is to have a piano in your house in Japan, because I know here in like Britain and stuff it's you know, it's like relatively common. I have one in mine. I have an electric piano in mine. But yeah, I looked it up and it told me that it actually became very common in Japan because it's a Western middle class lifestyle sort of element thing is what it said. I have one in my house because I play piano, and I had a keyboard for ages, and I had like begged I begged I think it was for like my birthday or something. My parents like saved up a lot of money to get like the electric piano that I ended up having, and it's a really, really nice one. I love it so much. It sits in the living room actually. But yeah, apparently it's quite common. It's a Western thing, and then it became common in Japan. And then I looked up like if there was any specific things in Japan, like any specific pianos. I had seen a few that like Japanese people had actually crafted themselves, like handcrafted, which was pretty nice. A lot of the ones I was looking up seemed to be more like grand pianos, whereas I think the one I used is, I don't think it's called a grand piano. I don't know what it's called. It's a lot smaller than a grand piano. Like my piano I have in my house is relatively small, I would say. It's like got the pedals and stuff, but because it's electric, I think it's a lot, I don't know, I think it's a lot smaller than like a traditional piano. But anyway, we are moving on soon anyway to the third and final unit. I am just finishing off this one. I really, really like this. I like that it has a little office that leads out onto a balcony. I thought that was very cute, and I did want to add an office because of course it's for a businessman, so it makes sense that they would have one. But yeah, we do move on to the last one very soon, and I think the last one has the weirdest floor plan. It was very difficult for some of the units to get all the stairs to fit, and because this one over here is like the smallest one, it was a struggle, but I wanted to ensure that I wasn't adding any ladders to any of them. I know that people prefer stairs, and also because there is an elder like living in this house, I didn't think it was very suitable for there to just be a ladder. So yeah, I made sure to use stairs, and as you can see, they have their bathroom on the very bottom floor, so it's very accessible for them. Now this house is what concerned me because I thought that it looked a little bit too washed out, like a little bit too washed out with the colours, because it's very, very white and cream. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, apparently this is very common, so yeah, I'm not too worried now. But I did go for a very bright kids room, which I don't think is like too common, but yeah, I don't know, I just kind of love doing kids rooms a certain way, and I guess I just kept to that theme. I do end up cluttering up the kitchen, by the way. I think I just was a little bit, I don't know, unsure about this like house, this bottom floor, so I was being a little bit weird with it. I was trying to get everything in place first, and then I went back and changed a few things. So yeah, there is going to be screenshots at the end of this video. I think I mentioned that earlier, but if you want to see anything close up or kind of like skip by anything too fast, you will see that at the end. And as I said, I will be uploading them to the gallery, so I hope you enjoy that as well. Now I said in my last video, which was my Witch's Cottage video, if you haven't seen that, please go check it out. But I said in that video that I wanted to do some more common uploads because currently my uploads have been like weekly, so this has kind of been the start of my more common ones. I'm trying to do them every like 4 days just to have a little bit more stuff out for you, because I feel like I don't upload enough. I found that just doing like smaller builds seems to be the way to go. I know that this is quite a large build, but honestly the longest thing was of course building it, but I feel like what really delays my videos is the editing and then the voiceovers, and I love doing voiceovers and I know that a lot of people like listening to them, so I don't want to stop that. I want to keep that up, but I feel like it's a lot easier to do when the videos are shorter, so I'm trying to do some smaller videos, some bigger videos, and yeah, just get a little bit more content out for you guys. And I said earlier we'll be still continuing with the, of course, townie series that I'm doing, so that is something to, you know, keep your eye on for the next part and things like that, because I'm really enjoying that series. I love playing around with the CC to do the makeovers as well, so that's going to be really fun when I do the next part. I don't know when that will be out. I'm thinking next week or the week after, but yeah. And then I'm going to do another poll. Please let me know if you got this far in this video, if you like have any townies in mind for who you want to see after the Pancakes family, because as I was saying earlier, I love the Docatos, but I don't know who is considered like the lovable townies in The Sims, because I know that people love the goths, and I know that, you know, it's very mixed opinions on like the what are they called? The pancakes. I know there's very mixed opinions on them, but I don't know who's considered like really, really loved. Like, so you have to let me know if you have any townies that you're like, I love them. Then I would love to, you know, like start off with those. But anyway, this is the grandpa's room. So I said before I was thinking like a grandparent and their son. So I was thinking like grandpa and son. I thought that was very sweet. And so yeah, this is a grandpa's room. And his room's really nice because he's got a balcony, and I thought that was sweet. So he can like look over and enjoy the view. I don't really know what's in the background. I think it's just like houses, but you know, he can enjoy the view. And yeah, do you know what's crazy to me? Like, I know it came out a while ago now, but just the fact that this is functional, the fact that we can actually have 3 different families living here is just crazy to me. Like, I just didn't expect it to be a thing. Now I know people are still asking for hotels, and I guess it is a lot more what's the word, like obtainable to make hotel builds now with the new expansion, but I understand why people are still asking for hotels, because this, I guess, apartments don't really work the same as hotels. Apartments are like you have one unit and then you live in it, whereas a hotel is like I guess, you know, a hotel would just be like a rental. I think they just need to see if they just upgraded the way like rentals work. Now, I don't actually know what rentals came with, because I know that Mount Komorebi has rentals at the very top. I don't know if they came with Mount Komorebi though, but if they were able to update rentals or create, I don't even know if they'd have to do a full expansion for hotels. Although when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I guess we would want a lot of certain furniture for hotels, you know. But we do have a lot of stuff already that would work, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if they would take that as an opportunity to do like a whole expansion, or if maybe they would just do a smaller thing like a stuff pack. I don't think a kit. I think a kit would be a little bit too small. And also kits don't seem to be functional except for the Busted Dust kit, which I don't even have. I know that people hate it. Honestly, personally, I don't think Busted Dust is that bad, but I think it would annoy me to have the little like bunnies bouncing around all the time, because like you have to hoover constantly. I don't know if I'd be able to deal with that. I know that people also don't like Journey to Batuu, so I still need to do a ranking packs for like game packs, stuff packs, kits, because I did do one for the expansions if you want to check that out. But yeah, I need to do one for all the other ones. But I don't have Journey to Batuu. But the other day I was looking because all of the Sims packs were like on sale. They had like 40 to 60% off. I know that one of them was free. The backyard stuff, I think it's called. Anyway, a lot of stuff was on sale and I had a look at Journey to Batuu, and I know that people don't like it and I get why, and I get that the like story thing, the story mode is very what is the word? Very repeatable. Like you can't repeat it. Like you don't want to like do it more than once. I've forgotten the word, but yeah, I know that people have said that about it, but see, a lot of the items in it, they're actually quite nice, and that's not just because I'm a Star Wars fan. I think like a lot of stuff is cool. See, if I wanted to do certain builds, I feel like a lot of stuff would work really, really nicely. So yeah, I don't have that pack, but I was looking at getting it. And also Strangerville, I do not have that pack and I really want it. I think I'm going to save up for that. But anyway, we are moving on to the last room that I'm sure I end up doing on camera, and that is their dining room. Now it is at the very top. The child actually ends up having an ensuite, so very, very lucky. But yeah, this is their dining room and it's at the very top floor, which is kind of inconvenient for the granddad, unfortunately. Also his like room is on the second floor, which again is a shame, but I don't know, I just tried to work with what I had, but it's okay. I'm sure it's like very in shape, so it's all good. But we are coming to the end of this video, so I do just want to say a massive thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe and leave any comments down below of what you thought, and I will see you all in the next one. Also stay to see all of the screenshots. Thanks, bye.